example with Greg versus Martin. Greg hits the ball cross-court, pulling Martin off the court. Martin responds with a hard driving shot down the line, and as you can see, Martin is far from the correct recovery position by the time Greg hits the next shot. At this point, Greg begins to take control of the point, putting Martin on the dead run. As Martin continues to go down the line in this rally, he gets himself further in trouble. Just to stay in the point, Martin is forced deep into the backcourt and gets so far out of position from his down-the-line balls that Greg is able to win the point on a short cross-court ball. Let's take another look at this same point. Notice how Greg moves in tight to the baseline, even giving Martin less time to recover. Greg has several options to capitalize on these open court opportunities. As he takes Martin corner to corner, he could also have hit behind Martin, or even drop shot. All these options were made possible because of Martin driving the ball repeatedly down the line in the rally. We now know that in a rally, when you are positioned near the center of the court on the baseline, you are close enough to all the recovery positions so that no matter what direction you hit, you will have time to recover. As you are forced into a corner of the court, hitting back cross-court provides you the shortest distance to your recovery position, while taking advantage of the court being longer from corner to corner, as well as the ball crossing over the lowest part of the net. It is for these reasons why you see two professional players so often hitting in cross-court patterns. Working in cross-court patterns provide the best guarantee that you can maintain good court position while building points. It is your objective when positioning at the net to locate yourself at the midpoint of your opponent's possible shots. The three shots you must be in reach of that determine your position at the net are the down-the-line passing shot, the angle passing shot, and the lob. When you approach net, you are challenging your opponent to beat you with one of these three shots. And when possible, pressure the opponent to have to hit into your strengths or hit a shot that is a weakness for them. In the time it takes your approach shot to reach the opponent, you must establish your position or risk leaving open court for the opponent. Regardless of your skills at the net, being in good position puts added pressure on the opponent. The shot direction on the approach shot that works best for your court position is down the line. Hitting down the line provides you with the shortest distance to travel to get into position at the net. By using the down-the-line approach, you can see Raul is already within reach of the down-the-line pass as he moves in. Using slice to give himself more time to position, Raul moves in around 5 steps, close enough to cut off the angle pass, yet positioned to guard against the lob as well. When playing an opponent with a definite weakness, the use of cross-court approach shots into that weakness may work in your favor. But in general, approaching cross-court requires you to travel much further to establish position at the net, putting you at risk of leaving open court for the opponent. In this point, Raul having to change the direction of his movement and momentum makes it even more difficult for him to reach good position, resulting in the line being left open. As in this case, where Raul has the easy shot down the line, if Greg was in better position, he may force Raul to choose a more difficult option. When you are faced with a short ball down the middle of the court, approaching down the center allows you to position at net more quickly, limit the opponent's options on angles, and make a tough decision on the opponent of what to do with the ball. Or if the opponent has a weakness, you can hit towards that corner. Many times you will be in the situation on a first volley where you're not in a position to end the point. If you hit your first volley cross-court in this situation, you have much further to move to get into good position for the next ball, putting you at greater risk of being passed. Treat this situation as you would an approach shot, by hitting it down the line or straight ahead to maintain good position. This should create the opportunity on the next ball for you to close out the point from even better position. Now let's review what you've learned. In the rally, cross-court patterns work best for protecting your position in the court while building points. Defensive shots down the line should be adjusted to allow you time to recover unless you are hitting behind the opponent or have a point-ending shot. When approaching net, down-the-line shots provide the shortest distance to good position at the net while limiting open court for the opponent. down the center shots work well for short balls in the middle of the court to allow you to get into position and limit passing shot options. On first volley, when you are not in a position to end the point, you should treat it like an approach shot by hitting down the line or straight ahead to establish position for ending the point on the next volley.
You know, what you've reviewed in this video is the importance of court position, shot selection, and recovery. Now we're going to find ways for you to practice it.
In the rally, many players have been conditioned into thinking they should recover behind the hash mark no matter where they've hit the ball. In this situation, James hits a cross-court angle shot and should recover to this position. Instead, James recovers back behind the hash mark and out of position based on his shot. This leaves the cross-court area open for his opponent. As a player, not knowing the correct recovery positions for each shot you hit can leave you feeling slow on your feet with too much court to cover. Establishing control in points will always be a difficult task if you are constantly out of position, leaving open court for the opponent. Let's look at some drills that are based on court position, shot selection, and recovery. Drill number 1, down the line versus cross court in the rally. Start each rally by hitting the first ball down the center, then play out your patterns from there. One player hits everything cross court while the other player hits down the line. This is a great exercise for getting the feeling of how your shot selection affects your court position. The player on the down the line pattern will have to work much harder just to stay in the points. Play 10 points, then switch the patterns so each player can experience both patterns. Drill number 2, forehands cross court and recovery. This drill has both players working in the cross court forehand pattern, focusing on consistency rather than power, and finding the correct recovery position after every shot. Make a game of it by adding scoring. Begin the drill by hitting the first ball to the opponent's forehand corner. Alternate the start of each point between the two players. Both players begin with 15 points. Each time you make an unforced error, you lose a point. The first player to reach 0 ends the drill. Scoring this way will help you develop consistency. Drill number 3, backhands cross court and recovery. Now we have both players working in the backhand cross court pattern, again focusing on consistency and correct recovery. Play the same game in scoring as drill number 2. Compare the results of drills 2 and 3 to help you determine whether you are more consistent in the forehand or the backhand pattern. Drill number 4, forehands cross court and attack. Now we add another dimension to the forehand cross court and recovery drill. The points begin in the same manner as drill number 2. Any opportunity a player has to attack net, they will be rewarded for doing so. This time, both players begin at 0 and play to 20, scoring +1 for winning the point and +2 for winning the point on a volley or an overhead. Drill number 5, backhands cross court and attack. Switching to the backhand cross court pattern, play the same game as drill number 4. Remember, the down the line approach works best for getting into position at the net. Compare the results of drills 4 and 5 to help you determine which pattern is more effective at setting up your strengths for attacking net. Drill number 6, change of direction in the rally. For this drill, we've extended a rope approximately 15 feet off the ground at each end and down through the center net strap to simulate a higher net at the sidelines. If you are without a rope, try and visualize one instead as you